Hey guys, Alicia here. Today I'm getting ready to make up some mini mocha cheesecakes with ginger snap crust. Now this is something new for me. I've never done these before, but I love cheesecake and I love doing little mini versions of them so they're more Weight Watcher friendly. I've got 2 or 3 other cheesecake recipes that I've done in mini versions on my channel. I'll go ahead and link those up above and down below if you want to check those out too. But as I said, this one I've never done before. I got the inspiration actually for these off the back of this ginger snap bag. I bought these for Christmas, and if you can see there, I saw that ginger latte cheesecake bars. That sounded so good that I wanted to kind of do a version of those. I actually tried to find the recipe for these specifically to see if I could lighten it up, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it and do my own thing with these. The combination of coffee, chocolate, and ginger snap cookies just sounded really good to me. So like I said, I'm gonna wing this and see how they turn out. I guess if you're seeing this, they turned out well. So let me go over ingredients real quick. First off, for the filling, I'm gonna be using 8 ounces or a package of this Philadelphia 1/3 less fat cream cheese. I'm also gonna be using 3/4 cup non-fat plain Greek yogurt, 4 teaspoons of this vanilla unsweetened almond milk, and then back here I have got regular granulated sugar. I'm gonna be using a 1/2 cup of that. I know a lot of people don't like using the regular sugar, and so you can definitely substitute that with a sugar substitute if you want. I get asked a lot why I don't use it, and that's just a personal preference for me. I only use the sugar alternatives in baking if I can't get away point-wise without using them. This, using regular sugar in this recipe, is gonna make these a point higher. And for me, that's worth it. So I'm using regular sugar, but you could definitely use a sugar substitute if you want, and these will be a point lower. I'm also gonna be using some of these Lily's semi-sweet style baking chips, just a serving of those. And then here I've got some Espresso instant coffee, and then some vanilla. I'm also gonna be using a little bit of this Hershey's cocoa just to dust these with. And that is everything I'm gonna be using, so let's jump in here and get these started. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my almond milk here, and I'm gonna measure out 4 teaspoons, or that would be the same as a tablespoon, and 1 teaspoon. Then I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna heat it in my microwave for about 15 seconds or until it's warm. And now that I've got that warmed up, I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of this espresso instant coffee to it. And I'm gonna just stir that in there. And if you don't have almond milk or some other type of milk, you could just use water too. And that'd be totally fine, I think. All right, so I've got this all mixed together, so now I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside and work on the rest of it. Okay, here in my mixer, and you could do this by hand or with a hand mixer if you want, but I'm gonna make my life easier and use my KitchenAid. And I'm gonna add in my cream cheese first. I don't think I said when I was going over ingredients, but you want your cream cheese to be softened or at room temperature, and that's just gonna make it a whole lot easier as far as getting things mixed together correctly. So I'm gonna add that in. Sugar. And I'm gonna mix the 2 of these together real well. All right, that's looking good. So now I'm gonna add in my 3/4 cup Greek yogurt, my teaspoon vanilla, my coffee mixture, and then I'm gonna mix all that together real well. And then while that is mixing together, I'm gonna go ahead and weigh out a serving of these chocolate chips, which is 14 grams or about 30 chips. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the microwave for about 15 seconds to get them melted. And back over here, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my chocolate, and then I'm gonna stir that in. And also I have got my oven preheating to 375 right now. And then lastly, I'm gonna add in an egg. Now I completely forgot to show this in the ingredients, but as always, I will have all the ingredients down below. and that will be on the list. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mix that in. All right, that looks good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get my muffin tin over here ready. So I'm gonna just be lining my muffin tin with these silicone liners. I will have a link for these down below where I get these on Amazon. I really like them. I use them all the time and they just work really well. Stuff does not stick very much at all to them, and it's just nice to have a reusable liner instead of like the paper ones. And now I'm gonna take my ginger snap cookies and I'm gonna just lay one on the bottom of each one of these liners. And as I always say when I show these mini cheesecakes, if you want to do a crust, you can. I just think this is way easier, so I use cookies almost all the time. I have done crust before, but when you're doing these little mini ones, it's a whole lot of work. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm gonna take my filling and I'm going to evenly fill these. Make a big mess as usual. And I'm just using this ice cream scoop, which is what I typically use, and it works pretty well. Got these all filled. Now I'm gonna bake them in my preheated oven at 375, and I'm gonna start them off at 15 minutes. I'll be back once these are done. I let these cook just about 18 minutes, and they're looking done. They have just the very slightest little jiggle in the middle to them, which is what I'm looking for, because these are gonna continue to cook for a little bit. So now I'm gonna just let these cool completely, which will take about 45 minutes, an hour, and then I'll come back and dust them. These have completely cooled, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cocoa powder and I'm going to start off with a tablespoon of it. I'm gonna just sprinkle it on the tops of these. And I ended up with a lot of that left, so I would say you only need about 1.5 teaspoons of the cocoa powder. But that is it. I'll go ahead and plate some of these up and have my hubby give them a try. Okay, and I've got a few of them on a plate here so you can see them a little closer up. Now these are gonna be 5 points a piece. And as I said in the beginning, if you want to use a sugar substitute, they're gonna be 4 points. But as always, I will have the recipe builder link down below so you can check out what they would be for you. Also, these do need to be refrigerated, and I would suggest actually before eating them that you refrigerate them for at least 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours. Even better would be to let them sit overnight, and they're just gonna taste better. And that's with any type of cheesecake, really. It just tastes better once it's been refrigerated for a little bit. So definitely would suggest that, but we're gonna go ahead and try these now. And as I said, I just let these sit for about an hour to cool enough to dust them, but we'll go ahead and give them a try and I'll let you know what we think. Say hi.
Did you warn everybody
About what?
that you were gonna show me?
Oh, yeah, I did already.
Oh.
There you are. You want to try one?
Yeah. Didn't you get that comment?
Oh, yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Warn us before you show him comment. Yeah. I'll show the inside of that. Maybe that instead. Yeah, okay. Now you've had the different cheesecakes I've done before.
Yeah.
This one's kind of a little different, obviously.
I was breathing some of that powder.
Oh, the cocoa powder?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really good. The first bite, you really get that espresso. Mm-hmm. It's almost got a caramel quality to it after that. And I think it's a combination of the cheesecake and the ginger snap.
Interesting. I figured the ginger would go good with the coffee and the chocolate flavor, though.
It goes really well, and it's nice and firm, like a crust would be, versus it getting mushy in the process.
So those work well in there then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. Well, those are mini mocha cheesecakes. Like I said, 5 points. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you as always for watching, and we will see you on the next one.